Last week, Donald Trump issued an executive order seeking to tackle inflation and housing relief on day one. What a stance for the American people on his first day in office. His command was as follows. And here's my impression. Or not really an impression, but here's how I imagine he might sound is, I hereby order the heads of the executive departments and agencies to deliver emergency price relief consistent with applicable law to the American people and increase the prosperity of the American worker. This shall include pursuing appropriate actions to lower the cost of housing and expand housing supply. And then there is some more in there that doesn't apply to housing. And then specific to housing, he adds, moreover, many Americans are unable to purchase homes due to historically high prices, in part due to regulatory requirements that alone account for 25% of the cost of constructing a new home, according to recent analysis. While I can appreciate him prioritizing this issue, the likelihood of sweeping changes remains to be seen. On one hand, it seems like he's possibly just passing the buck on to the federal agencies to devise a plan and execute it. And then on the other hand, doesn't this task just seem like a daunting and unrealistic one? It always comes up, doesn't it? Administration to administration. Something we want some smart people, maybe in, maybe not in the White House, to closely consider for a few months at a minimum, to vote on through the democratic process and then roll out. One that reflects the needs of the American people at the broadest level. Now let's consider some likely scenarios. If successfully implemented, regulatory reforms and economic policies may provide temporary relief by reducing housing costs and stimulating economic growth. In true Trump fashion, let's say he writes the American people a check for housing, or more realistically, leverages fiscal policy and starts to more broadly provide front-end housing assistance at the federal level. We're most likely going to be back in the inflation race on housing prices. These pro-growth policies, including tax cuts and deregulation, could lead to increased demand, potentially exacerbating the inflation if supply does not keep pace. And that would be inflation in housing specifically, and the inputs into housing. Now, do they pump stimulus funding into the nation's largest builders, essentially paying them to build more houses? Or could this become another failed attempt at trickle-down economics in the housing sector? We could be stuck with ghost towns or more rent-to-own subdivisions because people still can't afford to buy the homes. We know that a Trump government has a history of being very quick to hand out money without the desired effect stipulations or consequences for that matter. I think we all can remember the disastrous PPP loans under then President Trump at the time. Here's an interesting fact to remind us of what too fast fiscal policy and trickle-down economics results in. 1,644 tax and money laundering cases, 795 people indicted for their alleged CARES Act financial crimes, and fraud totaling nearly $8.9 billion. And who is paying for this misstep today? No one other than the American people in the form of inflation and taxation. So we must exercise some caution. Additionally, some executive actions have faced legal obstacles. For instance, a proposed spending freeze was revoked following federal court challenges, indicating that legal hurdles could impede the implementation of any policies that get handed down under the executive order. Legal challenges could delay or alter the implementation of these policies, reducing their immediate impact or not being able to be implemented at all. And obviously that would also increase or create more uncertainty in the markets. Now, with all of this in mind, it's clear that addressing housing affordability and availability is not just a pressing issue from administration to administration, but a very delicate one that requires thoughtful planning. Sweeping reforms or rushed financial assistance, no matter how well intentioned, could backfire and further burden the very American people that they aim to help. History has shown us that quick fixes often lead to unintended consequences, like inflation, fraud, or an even worsening of the affordability crisis. This is why I urge the Trump administration, along with its executive departments and agencies, to take their time, engage with the experts, and carefully weigh the potential impacts of any policy changes. Thoughtful, data-driven solutions that genuinely help American families, that is all of the American people, not just short-term band-aids, are what we need. We, the American people, deserve housing policies that address root causes, encourage responsible growth, and avoid fueling inflation or adding unnecessary tax burdens. Let's ensure this vital issue is handled with care and duty and precision so that the solutions truly benefit we, the American people, that they are meant to serve. The stakes are just too high for anything less than that. I'm Megan Johnson, your local broker realtor with Modernest Realty here, serving the wonderful Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you have any additional thoughts or concerns about this important issue, please don't hesitate to leave your comments below. Now, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you found this helpful, and please feel free to share it. Your questions, comments, and anything else below that's constructive, positive, and beneficial are all welcome. Peace and blessings to you and your family this year, and see you next time. Bye.